Hello, my name is Mr. Leitch, the new head teacher here at King Henry School. And if I haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet, then I'm delighted to welcome you to the start of the new school year. It has, for all of us, been a really strange and difficult few months. Since the start of lockdown in March, things would have been very different for you. And I know that all students and staff would have had a different experience of lockdown. Sadly, some of our staff and students would have lost loved ones to COVID-19 as well. So as we come back, we may have some anxieties, some nerves, some concerns. And the key message today is that in this school, our approach will be to care for one another and to support one another over the days and weeks ahead as we readjust back into school. You will notice that there have been some changes and that we're doing things in a slightly different way. One example of that is that I would normally be talking to you and getting to know you in a formal assembly in the main hall or the new hall. But for the first half term, we want to reduce how often we bring large numbers of students and staff together. And therefore, the assemblies are going to be trialled virtually, just like this one today. It is really important, though, that I do get to know you, and I look forward to speaking to you on the playgrounds and in your classrooms as I walk around the school site. But I also want to share with you my vision for King Henry. My vision is for King Henry School to be a truly extraordinary school. And I want to share with you some slides that I've shared with Year 7 and with Year 12 as they joined the school on Friday. As some of you will know, I'm a big football fan, and many of you will probably be disappointed to hear that I'm a big West Ham fan. Throughout my life, that has been quite a challenge, with West Ham often breaking my heart. But this picture, whilst linked to football, isn't linked to West Ham, but helps to illustrate the theme of being extraordinary. Some of you may know this picture was from the 2018 FIFA World Cup, and there was a second round match between Japan and Belgium. Japan had never got to the second round before, whereas Belgium were one of the tournament's favourites. And so before the game, everyone expected Belgium to win easily. They were going to win 5 or 6-0. It was going to be one-sided. Japan might as well not bother turning up. And yet, with 20 minutes to go, Japan had a surprise, a shocking 2-0 lead. And the Japanese players were just moments from making history. Glory was within their sights. Unfortunately for them, and as sometimes happens in life, there was a big disappointment just ahead. Belgium went and scored 3 goals in the final 10 minutes, including one in the 94th minute, which meant that Japan were eliminated from the tournament. Imagine what it would have felt like to be a Japanese football player in that moment, having been so close to success to have it taken away so cruelly. That frustration, that emotion, the anger perhaps. You'd certainly be tired. They would have put in real effort to almost beat Belgium. And that context is what makes this picture extraordinary, in my opinion. Because this is a picture of the Japanese changing room just 1 hour after the game. The Japanese players decided that whilst they had lost, whilst they were eliminated, they were going to leave with dignity. They tidied the dressing room. They swept the floors. They even left a note on the wall written in Russian, where the World Cup was hosted, to thank the Russians for their hospitality and to express gratitude for being able to participate at all. They lost, but their reaction was extraordinary. So I want to talk to you briefly today about this vision of making King Henry extraordinary, different from the other schools up the road, to make this school a really special place. And I want to talk to you about how we can all play a part in making this school truly extraordinary. So extraordinary means unusual and special, different in type or greater in degree than the usual. And there are stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things all around us. You may remember from early on in the lockdown period, a gentleman called Tom Moore. He's now known as Sir Tom Moore, an elderly gentleman with mobility difficulties. Tom Moore wanted to do something to help when COVID-19 started. He wanted to raise money for the NHS. And despite his limitations, despite his age, and despite his mobility difficulties, he decided that he would try and raise some money by doing laps of the garden outside of his care home. And he hoped to raise £1,000 just to contribute towards the NHS. As more and more people noticed his fundraising, more and more people donated money. And Tom Moore ended up raising tens of millions of pounds for the NHS. And yet, a year ago, if we had walked past Tom Moore in a high street or down the road, he would have seemed like an ordinary elderly man. Even in his context, at his age, he decided to do something extraordinary. A reminder that all of us, you and me, can do extraordinary things when we choose to. But what about us as learners? For many of us, going back into the classroom could be an anxious time. We've been away from our teachers, away from our subjects for many months. There may be some nerves about having missed out, about falling behind. But that's okay, because our priority as a school and as a staff is to support you, to look after you, and to help you to reconnect to your subjects. But we also want you to be extraordinary learners by making good choices towards your studies. Extraordinary learners show commitment. They're ready, they're respectful, they're safe, they're on time. Extraordinary learners ask questions, demand more knowledge, are proactive in participating in lessons, to contributing to discussions. And extraordinary learners see failure as part of the journey to success. All of us sometimes experience failure. In a school of 1,600 students, where you spend up to 7 years of your life, there will be highs and lows. There will be good days and bad days. There will be successes and there will be challenges. Having a bad day is fine. It's how we respond to it. Having a difficult moment is normal. It's how we respond to it that makes us extraordinary. It's all too easy, all too ordinary to find something difficult and then to give up. But failure is not a full stop. Anyone who's been successful in any walk of life has experienced failure at some point. It's through our failures that we learn how to improve. We need to embrace failure just as much as we embrace success. We don't give up. We show resilience. We keep going. We have determination. That's what makes us extraordinary learners. And our vision to be an extraordinary school is based on our values of respect, courage, ambition, politeness, kindness, and resilience. And as I said at the start, probably the most important of these values as we return to school, whilst there's still a global pandemic going on, is kindness. Showing kindness to each other, understanding our different experiences in recent months, and the anxieties and concerns that they may have prompted. Our school will be an extraordinary place if we show that kindness to one another. Being extraordinary isn't about always being the best. It's impossible to be the best at everything. None of us are. Being extraordinary is about our personal ambition to always do our best, to be the best version of ourselves. It's also about celebrating our diversity. There are some schools that expect all students to be the same, to sound the same, to study the same subjects, to do the same. We don't. We embrace diversity. We embrace the different personalities, ideas, and characters in our school. It makes us richer as a community. And being extraordinary is a collective effort. It's a team effort. No one person can make a school extraordinary. The relationships between staff and students are crucial. And we are seeking to develop the best relationships between staff and students over the next few weeks and months as we start this academic year. So I hope that whilst it may be slightly strange to come back into school and to get used to the routines, that you feel excited about the vision of being extraordinary, and that you feel that you can contribute towards that. The way we contribute towards being extraordinary is to show our core values on a daily basis: politeness, respect, kindness, courage, ambition, and resilience. And talking of teamwork, I'm really lucky to be supported by a superb senior team, some of whom were here last year and you will know well, but some of whom are also new to the school. So Miss Gibbs and Mr. Haddon are both the deputy head teachers, as they were in previous years, and we now have 6 assistant head teachers, all of whom you'll get to know over the forthcoming weeks. For those of you in Key Stage 3 and 4, we also have launched our exciting new house system that you would have heard about. All students are now in Hanover, Lancaster, York, Stuart or Windsor House, and this replaces the traditional year group structure the school had previously. We also have a newly appointed head of Key Stage 3, Mrs. Bryce, and a head of Key Stage 4, Miss Northwood, who will work with the heads of houses for each of the house groups, and the heads of houses work with your form tutors who see you every single day. This structure is to make sure that every student is supported, that we have so many staff members available to help you, and that no student in our school gets left behind. Finally, I want to just briefly talk to you about staying safe in this first half term, as we have a number of measures to try and keep everyone safe because of coronavirus. Some of the key summary of our care document are on the slide in front of you. Our care document is the big document that sets out how we're returning to school and how we're going to mitigate the risk of COVID-19. So as you will know, students are returning on a staggered basis between the 4th and the 14th of September. There are staggered start and finish times to each school day to reduce congestion and interaction. If you're unsure about the times of the day, please ask your form tutor. They have been shared with parents and carers and are on our website as well. We will have staggered break and lunch times to reduce congestion and interaction. In terms of face masks should be worn in the corridors and whilst passing through the canteen. If you'd like to wear a face mask in classrooms, you are also supported to do so. You do not have to wear them on the playgrounds, but you can if you'd like to. On the days that you have PE kit can be worn throughout the day to avoid having to use the changing rooms. All corridors have been divided into a keep left system, so please move through the corridors in a sensible, smooth manner, staying on the left-hand side. The canteen is reduced to a grab and go menu, and there will be no chairs or tables in the canteen. Students will pass through the canteen in a one-way system, collect their food, and then go to their respective playgrounds. As you can see from this, assemblies will be delivered virtually for the first half term. And crucially, as I said at the start, we will support every single student and staff member upon our return so that we can begin as we mean to go on, a school with truly extraordinary relationships where every student and every staff member is valued. I hope that you are excited about the year ahead. There will be challenges, of course, in the days and the weeks before us, but I look forward to meeting you all, to celebrating your successes, and to ensuring that this school is a truly extraordinary school that you can be proud of. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.